All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, Terence Bud Crawford goes and responds to statements made by Canelo Alvarez and places the blame on Eddie Hearn, telling one of the most successful promoters and extremely experienced and skilled promoter how to do his job for a fight that flopped. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford this week went back and forth as Terence Crawford had a fight with Israel Madrimov last week. And this week began the sales for Canelo Alvarez's next fight, which will be one that I don't care for, Edgar Berlanga. A Golden Boy fight, Edward Berlanga, yes, a matchroom fighter, Edgar Berlanga, who is promoted by Eddie Hearn. So Canelo Alvarez says during this press conference, "Hey, Eddie, I didn't like the fact that you kept bringing up my name in the fight, in the lead into the fight with Terence Crawford and Israel Madrimov. Because Israel Madrimov, if you did not know, is also an Eddie Hearn fighter." Terence Crawford took exception to this and lashed out at Eddie Hearn for doing his job. Now, before I get into the details, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you are a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much. Can't tell you how much I appreciate you. I am pulling up something at the same time that I'm doing that, but let me regain my eye contact with you. So, Terence Crawford said in a tweet or in a interview that he had never mentioned Canelo Alvarez during the press conference leading up to the Israel Madrimov fight, and that Eddie Hearn had done it. Terence Crawford said that he thought it was disrespectful of Eddie Hearn to bring up Canelo Alvarez during the Israel Madrimov press conference because because the fight, that wasn't who he was fighting next. But here's the thing. Eddie Hearn is a promoter. One thing that Eddie Hearn can do and definitely knows how to do is promote fights. That's what he does for a living. His promotional company is one of the biggest boxing promotional companies in the world. My understanding is that he's been exposed to promotions for boxing events, snooker, pool, or whatever else Matchroom had for his entire life. So if he says, "Look, man, I am mentioning Terence Crawford and Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez in a fight," that's because I'm trying to build up people's interest in this fight. Now, why would talking about Canelo Alvarez during the lead into a Madrimov fight with Terence Crawford, why would that help sell fights? Because when you have the press, listen to what Eddie Hearn says. The press, whether it is YouTube channels, whether it is established media or whatever, when they get those sound bites, they put those sound bites out, and then Canelo Alvarez fans listen to him, respond to it. Terence Crawford fans respond to it. But in the conversation about Terence and Canelo, Terence is being talked about, and so is Canelo. So they will also let you know in the middle of that, hey, man, we're also talking about Terence Crawford fighting this week against Madrimov. So that is a way to put eyes on Terence Crawford and Madrimov's fight, which Eddie Hearn was trying to sell. So Terence Crawford says, hey, man, I tried to shut it down every time. Why would you shut the conversation down? The conversation about Canelo and Terence Crawford is much more appealing conversation than a conversation about Terence Crawford and Madrimov, because Madrimov doesn't have any fans. Pay attention closely to what Devin Haney did for years with Gervonta Davis. Every single solitary fight that Devin Haney had, he mentioned Gervonta Davis's name. And a lot of the conversation around their fights wound up being about Devin and Gervonta Davis. Wherever Gervonta Davis moved, there goes Terence Crawford. There went Devin Haney's name. So to try to use the same thing to promote Terence Crawford with a very, very big name in Canelo Alvarez, that seems to me to be very solid. That seems to me to be something that makes a lot of sense, and something that you can definitely say has worked throughout the history of boxing for a very long time. It's worked for Evander Holyfield whenever Evander Holyfield was fighting at 100, at cruiserweight before he got to heavyweight. And then when he got to heavyweight, everyone was like, well, Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson. Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson. Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson. That's how you promote. That's how people have promoted fights for a long time. Terence Crawford saying, hey, man, I shut that down every single time there was a conversation. Hey, man, maybe you're not doing the best job at promoting. Maybe you should embrace that. Maybe you should say something about it. But at the same time, when you're done talking about it, move your mind right back onto Israel Madrimov and who it is that you're going to be and who you're fighting that weekend. But if you're trying to sell a fight and you say, hey, it's the promoter's job to sell the fight, I don't find that disrespectful. I find that efficient. It may be a little bit annoying because it may be a little funny because you say, well, you're not really selling the fight that I'm in. But yeah, you are, because you're bringing people's attention onto the fight and getting people to pay attention to you, even though you're using the name of a bigger draw to do it. So Canelo doesn't appreciate it. I could understand Canelo not appreciating it, because Canelo's like, yeah, you're using my name to promote Terence Crawford. Stop doing that. But Terence Crawford shouldn't be upset with Eddie Hearn using Canelo Alvarez's name to promote him and to promote Eddie Hearn's fighter Madrimov. Without a doubt, that's what he should be doing, because his job is to get people to pay attention to you. Now, maybe this is one of the problems where the disconnect between Terence Crawford and promoting for Terence Crawford, because Terence doesn't want to give people what they want. Terence seems to me to want to give people what he wants to give them. And if he wants to give it to you, hey, if the promotion works for me and it's something I'm comfortable with, hey, okay, great. Even if it winds up not being as effective and not leading to as big as sales as you could otherwise get. I'm a big proponent of letting people do their jobs. I do believe that fighters should fight primarily. That's what their main interest should be. But there are fighters that can walk and chew bubblegum at the same time, right? Clearly, Ali could walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. He could train, and he could promote and could have that outward personality. But look, man, if you got the personality of Sonny Liston, if you're a nice guy behind closed doors and people love you and it's all friendly when you're around it, but the camera hits you and you kind of want to get a little bit more reclusive, maybe you need an Eddie Hearn. Maybe you need a Don King. Maybe you need somebody like that is going to promote you and push you up and get you going. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Just wanted to let you know what was going on. Please give me your comments in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.